Hello, dear friends. My name is Lev Nelik. I'm Haaretz at large. Special transmission today. We came back. My wife and we just returned back to Israel, to Beersheba. So we're transmitting that to announce that we have now Atlanta office of our center of a synagogue has opened the branch unofficially. They don't know about it, but we opened it. So now we expanded our group of Midos, from Atlanta to, it's already in New York, it's already in Murmansk, Russia, and now it's in Beersheba, Israel. So hello from Beersheba. Today is March 5th, 2020, and the month of Adar. Go look up exactly which day of Adar. We continue studying our book, Olam HaMidos. And in this book, this coming Sunday in a couple of days, on 9 o'clock on Sunday, 9 in the morning, right after Shacharit at Ariel in Atlanta, I'll be there. And we have a special guest coming up, and the topic will be forgiveness. How do we forgive? And who do we forgive? Are there people we cannot forgive? Are there people we can forgive? How does Olam HaMidos look at it? And we also make a special introduction to years ago, people studied Talmud, Torah, Tanakh, prophets, kings, whatnot, also Kabbalah, and a spectrum of Jewish studies. These days seems to be certain groups stick to that particular bias is not a good word, that particular inclination toward a certain sets of the Jewish learnings, some groups to some other Jewish learnings, but obviously the unification of the Jews is coming. We see it every day that the boundaries get removed, the different minhagim remain and respected, but people crossing the boundaries and a couple of hundred years ago, just a few hundred years ago, there was a famous little faribble between Hasidim at that point, in 1698, the birth of Baal Shem Tov, and a couple of years later, Baal Shem Tov crossed Carpathian Mountains, met with Kabbalists in that area of Hungary, got impressed with their ideas, came back to Carpathian Mountains, to roughly the area where my grandfather also was born, which is why my wife quotes me by saying that I am a reincarnation of Baal Shem Tov. Just kidding. And that started a movement to essentially kind of unite and explain unite Torah with Kabbalah to come up with a mix of the theory or the essence of how do you not just learn a dry material, as Hasidim at the time, followers of Baal Shem Tov, felt somewhat that Mizgnagdim might have a tendency towards, and Mizgnagdim at the time felt that Hasidim, on the contrary, are stepping away, selling out from traditional Torah learning, and that faribble is very famously started a little bit. By now, things kind of settled down, and among us Jews, as we know, a little trouble gets people excited, people talk about, but things then work out. And as we know, the very famous call, the telephone call, 1-800, call Vilna Gaon. Baal Shem Tov made this call, is a hymn or magnate of Megdrich. That's a main student of Baal Shem Tov. And he made a call, and the secretary apparently answered the phone call, and it was the wrong number. Instead of 1-800 call Vilna, he called 1-800 call Gaon, and the digit was missing, and that's why it came to a different secretary, and it caused a little misunderstanding. So the Maghreb of Medrich was traveling to Vilna Gaon, got actually to him, and Vilna Gaon only spent about 15 minutes a day with other people. Most of the time he sat in his room with the windows closed, the shade, didn't talk to anybody, but he got to the window, they got together, had a long discussion. Everybody thought there's nothing going on because he came out like in Catch-22. Remember the major, he came out through the window. Nobody knows about it, but in reality, there was no split. There was a very close respect and admiration of these personalities. And now that this story is coming about, so people beginning to learn a book that's called Tanya. And that's we'll also talk on Sunday. What's Tanya? Tanya essentially is what Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, which is a third generation from Baal Shem Tov, his student Maggid of Medrich, his student is Shneur Zalman of Liadi, and that's essentially a beginning of Hasidim branch of Chabad, Chochmah bin Adat. That essentially, if you read Tanya, it combines the esoteric areas of Zeir Anpin, Anarich Anpin, Kabbalah, 10 Sfirot, all the very, very esoteric concepts with a Torah Talmudic study. And of course, as you know, years ago, Rabbi Akiva, and back to his teachers, and back to Moshe, and back to Adam, it was all one. Adonai Hashem Echad, U'Shemo Echad. So now we're coming back to this. And we'll start also touching on Tanya. And there's a group also in Atlanta that meets secretly. And that secret meeting is actually very publicized. People know about it. And they call it secretly just so that it makes it more interesting, you know. But they meet together openly in secret. And they talk about Tanya and the study of Tanya. Very interesting. There's a mix of group from Chabad, from Belts, from Nachman, and Nizgnagdim, Haredim get together very secretly in open. And doors are open, windows open, no shades. And they discuss it. Very interesting. And one gentleman from the Haredim, he's like a code name Bruce, they call him. He is coming from the Haredi side, and then Elijah himself is coming. And Elijah, as you know, lives a couple of blocks away from Ariel. So he's representing the Chabad side, Hasidim side. They openly meet in secret, discuss it. Very interesting. So it breaks down to the 5 categories of the Jews. And this is what it all comes to the concept of forgiveness. There's a full tzaddik. Very, very difficult to become a full tzaddik. And there is a reason for that. We'll talk about it on Sunday at 9 o'clock. Then there is an incomplete. The tzaddik was a bad, a little bit incomplete tzaddik. On the opposite side, there's also Russia, bad. Not Russian, although it's close, but Russia. And then incomplete Russia. It had a little bit of a good. And then in between, the 5th element is Benoni, which is a Nis Milchis, Nis Fleischer, which is acts like a tzaddik, can't tell the difference, but he tamed the tiger in his heart. What it means is our heart, according to the Tanya, is left side of it is a bad side sits there, and the right side, the good side, they fight each other. Be careful of these concepts so we don't come to duality of God, God forbid. And then 2 sides are fighting each other, but the main goodness of the right side is in the brain. So it's in the brain and secondary deposit in the right chamber of the heart, and the left is bad. So fundamentally, if you can conquer the left side, the bad side, completely conquer it and maintain, like I put a tiger in a cage, that's Ben-Yoni. Act like a tzaddik. Oh, Rav, I think said. No, Rav Nachman, Rav... I don't forget now, I have to look it up, said that he is Ben-Yoni. I never really thought he is like tzaddik, but he felt he is Ben-Yoni because he acted tzaddik, studied nonstop, but he wasn't sure if he actually tamed the tiger or transformed the tiger. So the difference is, if you can put a tiger, I'm using this colloquially speaking, if you put a tiger in a cage and control it and behave like a tzaddik, good. That's Ben-Yoni. That's a person who... But if you take the tiger and actually tame it and made it into a pussycat, make it a nice lamb, that's a tzaddik. And in between, if you tame him, but not exactly fully tamed, that tzaddik was something bad. So those 5 categories are very interesting. So the concept of forgiveness of another person goes contrary to Western civilization concept that if somebody really bad, I don't want to do anything with him. According to Tanya, And it's drawing Kabbalah and merging it with Talmud. Can you imagine that? Talmud and Kabbalah, not contradictory, actually together. You come with a concept that you don't blame the bad person. You actually respond with kindness. And the more kindness you implore, the better it is. The better it is not only for him, but better for you, better for everybody else, and it's better for the Klal Israel. And that is how the concept of forgiveness is linked to Tanya. So like I said, we will see you on Saturday at 9 o'clock. We're meeting in secret also at 9 o'clock at Ariel, right of Shach. We might start sometimes a couple of minutes earlier. So it's about an hour meeting. If you have, in the meantime, any questions that how can we merge the Tanya with Talmud and Torah, and how we can get the book of Rabbi Kestenbaum shed light on the whole concept, and how can we unite the prayer services under the same roof by Miznagdim here, and Sephardim here, Ashkenazi here, Hasidim here, all together, the own minhagim, and yet coming together. And after that service is finished, everybody has l'chaim, and here's a study group. This group studies Talmud, this group studies Torah, this one studies Chronicles, they studies Tanya, they study Kabbalah. Secretly, of course, that is the sign of Mashiach here. And with that, I want to wish you Shabbat Shalom. Again, today is March 5th. It's an important date. March 5th, look it up. You'll find out it's a very important date. Certainly important, very important for me. And I'll see you on Sunday. Send me the email, or you can call me. 1-900-Fulabula-Rebbe. And just kidding, I'm Am Haaretz, nothing to do with the Rebbe. I like the Rebbe Yehuda Hanassi, very much. Like Rebbe of Chabad, very much. Shneur Zalman of Liadi, my favorite. Vilna Gaon, my favorite. Merge them all together, bake it, you get a nice challah for Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, see you soon.